Todd recently experienced an energetic pulse emanating from the center of the planetary consciousness.
Yes.
Please explain what occurred and why.
We already explained it to him. That's why he wrote his article that he wrote.
Right.
This is exactly what happened. He's asking to confirm that he didn't make this up
Right.
in his mind.
Yeah, did the article he wrote after correctly describe what happened, and are there more pulses of this type planned?
He accurately described what occurred. This information came to him as it occurred and shortly after it occurred, because he cannot have this in his memory, because his memory can be scanned, his consciousness can be scanned. This is a rule of warfare that he's familiar with. You only know what you need to know. In case you are captured, you cannot give them the information, regardless of whether you are tortured or brainwashed or whatever that chemical is that they put in you to make you talk. You cannot give the information you do not have. However, when he sat down, as it occurred, he had the information. We allowed it because the strategy had already been completed. This is correct. The planetary consciousness is a rotating sphere, as shown in his book. As we were bombarding the planet with energy, the negative polarity pulled itself into a very tight, dense mass at the center. This is required. Consciousness rotates. If you're going to have a dense mass, it has to be located in the center for the rotations to not spin it out of control. It was there, and as he said in his article, the energies were impacting the exterior and energetically losing a small portion of negative polarity. This seemed to be an effective tactic for negative polarity. And then through the columns, the positive polarity pulse began to build. And as he's watching it now, as the energy pours in the top and the bottom of the columns towards the seat of consciousness, of planetary consciousness, the negativity cannot hold itself in a tight array. It has to retreat from the positive polarity or be realigned. And it did this. However, it was still attempting to maintain its hard mass exterior from the energetic bombardment on the outside. And now it had two fronts to contend with. It was losing energetics at the center because of the big ball that was forming, and it was losing energetic at the outside because of the energy that was pulsing down onto the planetary sphere. It had nowhere to go. It could not do anything other than attempt to fight both fronts. It was unaware of what was going to happen when the pulse collapsed and then went through the mass. This was catastrophic for negative polarity. The other question that's on here about the mass casualty events are in relation to this. And Todd knew this was coming. However, he was not going to share this information because it would cause undue concern in people, and that is not his message. So, yes, it was correct. This is exactly what happened. It happened exactly as planned, and of course, it worked perfectly. Are there more planned? Negativity has seen that this is a poor array of its forces, and it has begun to disperse. Not all of its forces are left on this planetary sphere now. It has moved to other planetary spheres within the system. We will not answer the question if you ask where. That is not necessary information. However, all is under control. New tactics will be constructed, and this is a war that cannot be won by them, and it is almost over, and we are moving forward. Will another pulse be completed if negative polarity attempts that same configuration? Yes, another one will be enacted. However, we don't see that occurring. We see something else now that they see that was a poor tactic. They will try others. Next question.